All right. Hello, everybody. It's Lisa White with IVF Manifesting a Miracle. And today I have a very special guest, my friend and soul sister, Amanda Testa. Hi, Amanda. She is based here in Denver. And Amanda is a sensual empowerment and relationship coach working with both men and women. And gosh, Amanda, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. I'm so thrilled to be here. And I just have to say, I just love the work that you're doing. And I feel like it's so powerful and needed. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's women like you who I met you back in 2015 in the fall when I was starting our fertility journey, going through testing. And I really thank you for being, a unique friend at the time where you were stepping out and shining your light and creating kind of your business. I'll let you talk about that. And just, you helped give me the courage to step out and do work that I'm doing. So I want to thank you. You've been a big supporter throughout our whole fertility journey. And this is kind of why I created this series, is to highlight women such as yourself who are soul sisters. You've really been there for me. And I love what you're doing and supporting women step out and own their power. And we'll talk a lot about that, in the sensual, playful space. But, that really gives women confidence and boosts creativity. And there's a lot of gifts that I think that the women that I'm trying to serve can really benefit from what you have to offer. So can
Thank
you
you.
share a little bit about when you started this, like when we met, about your background?
Yeah, of course. So, something I see often in working with high achieving women and couples is that, and I think too for journeys like your own, is that, often we are just conditioned to do it all, right? We got to
Mm-hmm.
get everything right. And it should look like this. And we need to have these things done by this specific timeline. And I know for my own journey is I was very wrapped up in doing everything right and making sure that I was perfect. And um, when my daughter was born in 2015, I kind of went full force type A parenting to the max, really martyring myself
Mm-hmm.
and, thinking that was what I needed to do. But now in hindsight, I realize I was really depleting myself. So, putting everyone else's needs above my own,
Right.
really, not sleeping, all the things that come along with being a new mom, as well as, thinking I was doing all the right things for myself because I was working out and I was involved in the community and I was, teaching stroller strides, if anyone knows
Yeah.
what that is. And then, you know, doing all these things, but something deep was just really missing. And I just was trying to figure out what it was. On the outside, everything looked great, but on the inside, it was not great at all. And I would just wake up so resentful in the morning, even though, I was so happy with everything in my life. It was really hard. And I just remember going to the bathroom one morning and I was like tripping over toys and just had a meltdown, just feeling like, oh, I'm the only one that ever does anything around here. I just cannot live like this anymore. And
Mm.
I just looked in the mirror and I literally just had zero connection with that reflection.
Wow.
And I just, yeah.
And I think so many women that I'm serving in this community can really relate to feeling like they've lost themselves. I don't think you've experienced fertility challenges yourself, have you?
No, I have not.
But as far as just relating to that disconnected feeling,
Hmm.
um, I love that you're really empowering women, and that's what I'm trying to do too, is really help women kind of reclaim their life and reconnect to themselves.
Yeah. And I think what often happens, because I have a lot of women that I've worked with who have struggled with infertility. And,
Mm-hmm.
I think what happens also a lot of around a lot of women in their sexuality too is just kind of this disconnection or, a feeling like they're broken in a way, which is not
Mm-hmm.
true at all,
Right.
but I hear that a lot from women. And I know I was feeling that way, even though, I was like, why? How come no one tells you life is this hard? And it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
postpartum. It was just literally, it's just a challenging time. But I just realized at that point, sometimes we have to reach out and find help. And so that's what I did. And that's what I think is beautiful about, having that vulnerability to reach out, is because there are people that have gone on your path and have come out the other side and can offer support. And I just wish I had reached out sooner, to
Yeah.
be honest.
So then what you saw, what you created, I mean, I love that you saw a need, and you're all about helping women transform themselves, and not only themselves but their relationships.
Yeah.
And your method, I know you're the founder of Find Your Feminine Fire. That's just such an awesome title.
Thank you. Well, I think that's one of the things that our modern day society really snuffs out of us,
Totally.
because in the go, busy, busy, all the things we're trying to do, it just peters out.
Yeah.
And we've never really been taught what to do to keep it alive and to take care of ourselves. Often I hear from women is like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I know I need to be doing something, but I don't know what that is. So
You hear that a lot, huh? Yeah.
yeah. And so,
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I created with this method is just a path to follow of how do I go from feeling totally disconnected and not recognizing who I am anymore to feeling back to being, resilient and confident
Mm.
and full of energy and desire and excitement again.
Yeah. And something I saw kind of on your website, it's amandatesta.com. You believe in your soul that sexuality is the missing key in personal growth and development.
I do.
I
Because
love that. Talk about that.
often it's the last place people look. And I think that um, honestly, there's so much that we hold in our sexual centers, in our womb, or the energy of our womb. And, we just kind of shove it all under there. One of my colleagues talks about it being like under the sink, everything just goes in there. And so often
That's
that
where our
can be
power, that's where our power is source, right? Like,
exactly, exactly. So sometimes, even, past traumas and things like that can really be in our systems. And until that's processed and really allowed to integrate, even in our physical body, not to mention emotionally and
mhm,
mentally,
yeah.
we can't really move forward. And so I find like when you start with your sexuality, you're saving like 7 years of your personal growth and development journey.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Is that something you just came up with? Is that,
Actually, because I've experienced it and I
oh,
have so many other women doing this. It's like, I do believe that. Like, you just cut through so much because you're getting to the root of where a lot of the problems lie. You're learning how to connect deeply with your body. And honestly, when I stumbled across my mentor, Layla Martin, it was nothing I was really planning. It was when I was on that search. And I was like, I'll just, whatever crossed my path that seems interesting, I'm going to do. And so she had
mhm,
this online program around working with the jade egg, which I had no clue what that was. But I was like, oh, this is supposed to spice things up in the bedroom. I'm sure that could use some help. And I realized through the work that not only was it an amazing way to like tone my pelvic floor and like get some desire flowing again, but it really had zero to do with spicing up things in the bedroom and 100% to do with connecting to yourself deeply and like really what that means. Like, how do you tap into what you need? How do you, ask for what that is and how do you receive it? So that's, a big part of it.
yeah. And I love how you really explore, this, the sexuality, sensuality. It's all like, it fuels you, like with the personal development, you feel more creative and more confident in yourself. It carries over in your life, like you're saying,
Yep.
it's at the foundation of kind of personal development and growth. So I love how you tie that in, because I think, you and I have we're in so many similar circles and friends and very much connected to personal development. And I just love,
Yep.
like, that is such a unique message that you're spreading, is like connect to those deeper parts of you that, like you said, get pushed to the side,
Right.
and you're bringing light
And the other,
to that. Yeah.
exactly. Because the other thing about that is most women have, some type of shame around it, or at some point, even just being in our culture, like being a woman is something that is considered less than just because of the patriarchy, this, that, and the other, right?
Hmm.
So it's not even anything of our own doing. But, and many women haven't even been taught their proper anatomy coming up. I can't tell you how many women tell me, like, oh, it's down there, or my flower, or this, that, and the other,
Yeah.
versus, using their correct anatomy. And if there's something that does not even named, there's inherent shame around that. And so I
Hmm.
think when you can own that, it helps your whole confidence, because if you can own the most shame part of your body and like flourish there, it
Yeah.
definitely expands outward.
Yeah. No, that's so powerful. I love what you're doing, and just bringing light to this conversation that, and it's too bad people feel uncomfortable talking about this. And I mean, all of us,
Yeah.
we can all work on some things.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I was just kind of reflecting during this time, this unique period we're all going through with the quarantine and the coronavirus. And I see such a parallel with women who are going in through infertility. They're feeling isolated and alone. And disconnected from themselves. And a lot of women who are going through infertility challenges have challenges like keeping that flame alive, keeping
Yeah.
that passion alive when everything is very medical based. Everything is, focused around scheduled shots and hormones. And it really takes the intimacy kind of out of the,
Yeah.
the romance kind of like goes away. And I kind of experienced that personally, where it's like you have to find ways to keep that kind of fire burning. And have you seen any, I don't know, just what with some of your clients in this period with the coronavirus, like what women are struggling with or?
Yeah. And just to say, really, I have a lot of clients that share that, feeling, well, when you are going through the infertility treatments, it takes the spice away. And then it's always like a scheduled thing and it just feels stressful and
You're like waiting for
it's
like
very
your
goal focused,
ovulation
which is beautiful.
window, ovulation window or the time.
Yeah.
And yeah. But yeah, my husband, I was just reflecting, and I share some of this in the book that I wrote that's coming out, and it's just like about ways that he helped, like brought me breakfast in bed, or he drew me baths. And I love taking baths and
Mhm.
like just those little things, like bringing flowers to me and
Yeah.
just the sweet gestures that just reminding
Yeah.
couples out there, just to keep those little things. Those really are the big things.
I agree. And I think one of the things too, and often with young kids, I feel like in some ways there needs to be a real commitment to the relationship. So
Hmm.
for one of the partners, like oftentimes the woman going through the fertility treatment is going through a lot of the physical, bearing most of the physical brunt of the treatment.
All of it.
And
Yeah.
so
Most of it. Yeah.
so the I think a large part of the romance needs to be in the hand of the partner often because
Mm,
just because you have a goal and you have to have these set times, that doesn't mean there can't be a little romanticism in there.
yeah.
And oftentimes, I would just urge a partner to pick up the slack a little bit there and just have a deep understanding for what your partner's going through. Is there a way that you can make the space more sensual? Is there a way you can create this ritual around your intimacy? Like, I love creating rituals because I think it's such a beautiful way to speak to our primal brain. And so, and as you're trying to conceive, like creating this beautiful ritual space to make love, like putting some
Hmm.
beautiful things in your room, coming together with this deep intention to create this life and breathing into that and breathing together for a
Yeah.
few minutes, making it like a beautiful ritual.
Yeah. It's
Powerful.
like a sacred, I mean, going through infertility and IVF particularly is what we went through. And um, yeah, I mean, there's such a miracle in all of it and what you're going through. And you're right, like that sacred time. I mean, our society is rush, rush, go, go, right? And like when you want a baby, you
Mhm.
want it now. And it's like, and I think like,
Yeah.
again, with what we're going through, it's like everyone's kind of slowing down and pausing. And to speak to what you're saying, it's
Hmm.
like an opportunity to really reconnect with our partners,
Yeah.
right?
And the other thing too is, upping the bonding behaviors because even if there's no intimacy, because if you've just had an implantation or you just want to, you're not feeling it because of all the hormones or whatever, just remembering to keep those bonding behaviors active, like ways you can be together. So your bodies keep remembering that you're on the same team because often when our body doesn't feel safe, even if it's subconscious, then it's hard to connect. So maybe even
Mm,
just lying together and like breathing together, like just
yeah,
one of you sit in front of the other and just hold and let your systems just kind of start to harmonize.
I love that.
Looking, yeah,
And
simple
like the
things
eye
like that.
gazing, or
Hmm.
I've experienced some of your, I wouldn't, well, one was a retreat, which I'll talk about, but us just kind of a group of us women who got together for, what was that? It was a breath work exercise. And I was in the process, not to divulge, but I was grieving my mom. My mom had passed, and there's things that needed to be released. And I had such an awesome experience, being there surrounded with the other women, and we were just laying there, and you led us through this breathing exercise, and breath work is so powerful. I just remember the tears, and it was so therapeutic to like let that go. And
Yeah.
women who are going through this infertility process, there's so much we need to release.
Yeah.
Breathwork is a really good one. And I love how you tie that in with your partner.
Hmm.
But then can you speak to like women who are, often are going through infertility too solo, right? They're
Yeah.
maybe going about this without a partner. And so just, I know you can speak to this, but nourishing yourself is like so important. I'm like the biggest believer in like self-care, and just when you're
Yes.
going through this journey, you have to be so good to yourself and like not look at it as being selfish. You are
Yeah.
truly like giving yourself the best gift. Like you need to take care of yourself.
I so agree. And just from a nervous system perspective, I feel like it's so important because it's not just self care, but I feel
Mhm.
like it's like
Oh yeah.
vital nervous system care. Because when you, as you know, when you're outside of your window of tolerance where, everything is pretty flowing smoothly, your health is more consistent, it's healthier for you, it's healthier for the baby. It's just in general, it's just great for your
Oh
system.
yeah.
And our system is, I mean, our culture is totally like do do do, and it keeps us in this hyper aroused state all the time, and then we like
Totally right.
crash. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like just trying to take care of yourself helps your resource, helps your nervous system be able
Oh yeah.
to be a stronger base of support so you can.
Exactly. Getting that balance, that homeostasis of like, and I think now, even a lot of women who've had canceled transfers and setbacks with their cycles,
Yes. Oh
using this
yeah.
time to prepare your body. And like you said, getting in that balanced state. So when you do have your egg retrieval or you can have your transfer, your body's going to be in this like receptive mode where it's like implant. And, I just think, yeah, there's such a gift in this like waiting period that I would like women
Yeah.
to kind of see that waiting period. And I know you have kind of like a program coming up, like kind of talking about this, right? Um,
Yes.
Calming your nervous system. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes. So this is I just have felt now, especially with everything going on, that having just a really beautiful plan of how do I want to take care of myself and be surrounded by amazing women, and also finding pleasure in all this craziness because I think that's such a key part is finding a way to include pleasure
Yep.
every day in
Yeah.
some small way, whether that's like enjoying a beautiful cup of tea or coffee, or you know uh,
Yeah.
taking a bath, or eating something nourishing, whatever it may be. It doesn't always have to be around sex, but just,
Right.
something to nourish your senses.
Yep.
And so this 6 week program is just going to be, it's a live, we'll do it virtually via Zoom. So we meet every week. And I'm just going to be walking you through some tools to build that resilience in your nervous system, to be able to create a deep well of self love and the practices that you can implement on a daily basis to do that. Because often women are like, well, yeah, that sounds great, but what do I do?
Hmm.
I will lay out the path, as
Yeah.
well as,
I love
getting,
what you're offering.
yeah, getting some tips around communication with your partner, and finding pleasure in it all. So
Yeah, I'll
really,
link I'll link your website when I upload this and people can check more at your website, amandatesta.com.
yes, yes,
Um, no, I just love all you're creating, and I'm reflecting back when you and our friend Desi had a retreat, power up retreat, January of last year, right? 2019.
2019. Mhm.
So just you guys, you're just creating so many wonderful spaces for women, and just you have such a like kind of warmth about you that I just love. And every time I'm around you, it's just like this big hug. And there's so many gifts that you bring. So I hope I'm just wanting to spread your message about what you're offering because it's so needed. And stepping up and power up. And I remember one of the exercises you kind of guided us through was to envision, a year from now, like where we would be, and like, look at just how much I've grown even in the last year. So thank you for being one of those friends, soul sisters who really helped me step forward in what I'm creating. Um, can you,
Well,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, I'm celebrating you because you are doing so many amazing things, and I
Mm,
love it. I really believe in, collaboration and lifting one another up because, in my view, that's the way that it should be.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. We all lift each other up. Um, you were influential. And one of the other things I was going to talk about briefly is leading me through a meditation. And you kind of shared this with me when I was going through IVF as far as a visualization, meditation visualization, kind of same thing, right? um, to envision, it's called the honey pot exercise. And I actually put this in my book because it was really valuable. And can you just explain a touch of like a little bit about that?
Yeah. And one of the,
Help women light that fire inside. That's,
totally.
yeah.
And I think this is so beautiful, especially for fertility, because as we, connect our minds and bodies and like really create this beautiful coherence, there's so much goodness that can happen. And the purpose of this exercise is to really take all the things you want to bring into your sexual center and visualize you're mixing them in this pot of honey. And then this pot of honey drizzles through your sexual organs and like brings all that stuff to life. So it's a beautiful practice. And if
Yeah.
anyone wants it, I could send it to you. If you want to email me, I'm happy to send it to you. But
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to post it in some way.
yeah.
But I do spell it out because you had messaged it to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. Like it's going in my book. But
Yes.
it's all about that, just kind of oozing like that honey all throughout your organs and helping. I mean, we're trying to get our embryos to stick, right? So it like was a great visualization for me. And I also wanted to mention briefly that you have a
Yes.
podcast. So Find Your Feminine Fire has been awesome. I've caught episodes of yours, and you just had one recently, which I think maybe a lot of women would like to tap into, but it's how to stay sane, sexy, and in love during hard times. That was your most recent one, right?
Yes.
with
I
Harmony
did.
Scott.
Mhm.
But yeah, I love what you're doing. You're creating a podcast, and
Thank you. Yeah, I just had my 117th episode
oh my
this past week.
gosh, when
Been
did you
doing it
start
for,
that? When did you start your podcast?
I don't know, I feel like 2016.
Wow, doing it,
Three,
girl.
3 or 4 years ago. It's been a while.
And I'm just kind of thinking of any last.
The one other last thing I'll share is that I know often I hear this from women going through infertility treatments and even just, having that connection, especially even after stressful times. And especially now, it's really hard to feel like you can tap into that desire because, often the number one thing is getting all our base needs met. And if that feels stressful, it's hard to get into that mood to even want to connect. So I can share a great meditation that I created around getting in the mood. And it's
Yes,
just basically a
please.
little breathing exercise you can do with your partner and kind of one of those things where you just bring that good juju into
Yes.
the parts that need to be activated. So you can get it at amandatesta.com/get in the mood. I'll help you get in the mood.
Okay. Yes, let's get the mood.
Now that we're stuck together, might as well have some fun, right?
Love it. Love it. All right. So you're going to guide us through that now?
Oh, I was just going to say you can download it. I was going to
Oh,
share it with you just so people, I don't know if
oh,
you want to now,
I
unless you're,
thought it was like something you were going to guys.
well, unless you're ready to go get it on right now, which you could, even with yourself. But I'll share it so people can get
Oh man.
downloaded at their leisure.
Okay. Awesome. I was like, I misunderstood. I thought you were going to share it right then and there. I'm like, all right. Cool. Well, plan on that. Leave people in suspense so they can get in the mood.
I love it.
I'll link up some of your links here, but I love you. Thank you so much for being like a dear friend, soul sister, and appreciate all of your love and support. And love what you're
Yes.
doing.
Thank you. And I'm so excited for your book and all the
Thank
women that
you.
you're supporting as well. So,
Oh, thanks,
yay.
girl. Virtual hug. We'll talk soon.
All
Bye.
right. Have a great day. Bye.
Oh, and I should also mention, if any women who are listening to this, I'm not very good at this, but needing that extra support through their fertility journey, you can find me at ivfmanifestingamiracle.com and message me. I'm here. I provide one-on-one support and have a free support group going on right now during this quarantine, and just really extending myself to reach those who are really in need. So I'm here for you, fertility coach, IVF mentor, really want to help you along in this journey. So reach out to me.